Okay, so in this video I want to compare the two units, the oppo bdp-105, which is the newest player, and also Denon dbp-4010 UDCI. In this short video I'm just going to do a physical comparison. I haven't hooked them up yet. So, I hooked up the Denon. I know how Denon sounds and plays. But I'm going to hook them up both at the same time to the same receiver, through the same receiver, using HDMI and also analog outputs. And I will let you know how they sound in the next video. In this video, I just want to show you basically compare them size-wise and visual-wise and what they have, what they don't have. So first of all, as you notice, Denon here on this side, everybody says that oppo is quite a player, pretty large. But when you actually look at the Denon, you notice how much larger Denon is. Probably at least an inch taller, at least 3 inches longer in the back. As far as the width, obviously they're all about 17 inches. So this is the front. Both players seen from the front. The markings are at the bottom here. So same thing on the Denon player. On the Denon player, they're not as pronounced as they are on oppo. Visually, I think Denon looks nicer, just the way it's made. I like the curved line up on top, nice clear window here, and just visually there's a lot more aluminum here versus aluminum here and like a long plastic strip across. So I don't know, visually I think I like Denon better. As far as the weight, Denon weighs approximately 5 pounds more, and you can definitely tell the difference. I'm just gonna take the camera off and show you how the players look from the top. And as you can see, Denon here is quite larger. Also, if you notice on top, Denon does not have vents. It is a player that has a fan built in, and as far as the actual noise on the fan, I have never ever heard the player fan spin up, or never heard, it was never an issue as far as the noise. I think the biggest issue in my home theater as far as noise would be the fan on the projector. I currently have a Denon 4311 receiver, which I know also has 2 fans inside of it. Never heard fans spin up or causing any noise issues. Okay, so that's the front. Now I'm going to spin them around and I'm going to show you the back. Alright, so this is the back of oppo. And this will be the back of Denon. Alright, so as you can see what they got. So that's the back. Okay, as you can tell, obviously here you can tell the size difference. The way Denon cheats a little bit is because of that curve on top, so it makes the player look a little slimmer. But now the size difference is pronounced much better. So as far as the back, obviously the Denon is an older player, so not as busy on the back. Here you see the fan. Here you see the remote in and out, and of course the RS-232C connector, which you have here. Okay. Then you have Ethernet cable, which both players have. HDMI out, only one. Denon link 4th, which is a very nice feature, and I've been using it. This is probably one of the main reasons why I got the player. Coaxial and optical out. Here you have your analog out, dedicated 2-channel stereo, and then also this is your stereo, you know, and then you have your analog outputs here. Now this is another player, like I said, so it does have component video out as video out. So it's got the legacy outputs. Okay, so that's the back of it. As far as the way it's made, it seems to me like the Denon is a little bit more of a substantial player. I'm gonna spin it around and also show you a nice little feature that's not present on Oppo. Here. Now I know Oppo has a built-in memory for your Blu-ray stuff, and I believe it's 1 gig. With Denon, you gotta supply Denon with a SD card slot, which is right here. Now, the cool thing about it is you can actually, if you have MP3 files, pictures, and also video files, you can plug it in here. You can insert the card in here and you can play those files off of the player right here, which is kind of a nice feature. Now here you got the USB, so I guess you could do the same thing. You could do this with Oppo and with USB, and you can do this with Denon with the SD card slot. As far as the front, you can tell the Denon is a little bit busier. There aren't any physical buttons on the Oppo except for the eject button for the disc. Denon got a nice power button here. If you notice, I will show you later, it lights up red or kind of orangey glow around, and when you turn it on it will be green. You have advanced AL24, which is the analog processing. This light will turn on while this is in progress. Denon link. If you use Denon link, the on lamp or light will turn on, and when you actually watch a Blu-ray movie and you have a clock in your receiver or processor controlled with the player, this light will come on. Here you have disc layer. Nobody uses this anymore, but if you had a dual disc layer and you want to switch the layers, here's the button. Pure direct button is right here. There are 2 modes for pure direct. Basically, you press once. You can set them in menu, but if you press once, you can set it, for example, that it will turn off the display only. The next one you can set, and you can set it to, for example, you can turn off the display and the video, but only audio will be output. So that's kind of a nice feature. HDMI resolution, that's, you know, just a button here, but you can do that with the remote probably on an Apple too. Source, this is where you will select the source, which would be through either SD card, the disc, and then I think there's another way. And of course you have eject button, the play, stop, skip the track. This is a forward and reverse and pause. So a lot more going on. One last thing I want to mention as far as the look. Hopefully maybe I can show you this in my next video. But if you open Denon's tray, the Denon tray would come out. and if you notice on top, is layered with what it looks like. I don't know what the material is called that it's laid out with, but it looks like sway. So basically the disc doesn't sit on plastic, and there's no chance of it being scratched. It sits on sway. I don't believe that's the case in the oppo. I believe it's just a plastic tray. So right off the bat you see that the money difference here, at least look at it visually, you can tell there's a lot more money in here. I know technology has moved up and there's a lot more stuff in here, but this player was $2,000 when it was announced, and this player was $1,200 when it was announced. So the money had to go somewhere, and you can definitely tell by looking at it visually. Now, as far as the actual playback and audio playback and video playback, I don't know that yet, but I will definitely run them through some tests and I tell you which one I prefer. Thanks for watching the video.